another time, but I'm not gonna get into it too much. But like the term defund the police, like I hate it. I hate it. It doesn't make any sense.
Police? But that's wait, that's not a term, fam.
It's
It
not.
is.
That's not a term. That's
Thank you, Nikki.
literally they're saying defund the police.
That's to me. That's just, okay. It's a term. It's a statement. Same thing. Someone not being woke is still a statement. What is woke?
Well, a lot,
what
like
is defund the police?
A lot of people are taking defund the police as like eradicate the
totally wrong.
We don't want,
Absolutely.
we don't want police. But it's more about like reallocating the funds to like better serve the people of the community.
Yeah,
Which
it's not about taking
term.
all the money from the police, you know.
Of course.
Like for instance,
but the thing is, when you put things out, like, and when you said like people who are necessarily history buffs are really smart or understand like the cultural ancestry and all that stuff aren't necessarily activists. This is why, right? Because activism is really about communication and how you get that communication out to the masses, right?
Yes.
So when you have a term like defund the police, you should realize what type of message that sends, right? And unless you're trying to cause a controversy rather than come up with a solution, then that's one thing.
But it's a two way. One way it's like it's punching you to say, whoa, you know what's happening here? They're gonna get rid of, like it hits you with like, you know, these people are serious as
that shock factor.
That shock factor.
Yeah, it's shock factor. Yeah.
But then I think the problem it becomes too is, as much as we're saying the quote unquote defund the police, we're also looking at it because of the corona situation. Like we're heading in a recession, and so if we're not in one already, so my biggest concern would be like, okay, they redirect to the community programs, but now they need to make cuts. The community programs get cut first. The police budget stays the same because it could almost be a ploy to say that, you know what, we just need to save money. Like, I don't know if I'm looking into it this too deep, but a lot of these cities don't even have money. So when they defund, doesn't mean the money's going to go to the community.
You're not looking into it too deep because there's a lot of funds that have been cut. Even in Toronto, there's a lot of funds that have been cut, and police funding if it has been cut, I don't see it. Like, we don't see it.
I'm just saying, let's say they redirect 20 million. They said they defunded 20 million, but they only put 10 million into other things. They saved themselves 10 million. So this idea of defunding can be also dangerous because there may be ulterior motives because these cities don't have money to actually fund the police to begin with. So we're in agreement of removing 20% of the budget. And let's say they keep it up for a year or two, or even 3, but when it's re-election, that same program that was happening that was actually maybe preventing gang violence or that was actually bettering relations between the police and the community, it no longer exists because now the budget cuts. And we always know budget cuts, the first thing to get cut is a community program, 100%.
Yep, 100%.
So sometimes we got to be we got to be careful because I'm not saying that like the police need more money. I'm not saying that at all, but as well, the other side of it is there may be false promises attached to that. Like, you know?
It's very true. Yeah, you're right. I feel like with the defund the police, I feel like even if it's not to defund, there needs to be like some reallocation of funds. You know what I mean? So like, bro, there needs to be more training, firstly. They need to stop the slave catcher behavior. Secondly, like there's a lot of things wrong with the system and a lot of things wrong with the system enforcers. You know what I mean? And it's like, I seen a post saying, even if somebody's guilty, they don't deserve to die. And it's facts, you know what I mean? But when we look at certain police officer groups, I think we should say, like these guys really feel like, yo, this person's if you're running from the police, you are a criminal. You must have done something wrong if you're running. So, I mean, then let's say they kill somebody more times than not, they're searching, oh, this person who has a history of arson, and like they bring up all these random things to justify why they did what they did. You know what I mean? And nothing has to do with what happened in the moment of it happening. So I feel like if there's not either reallocating or defunding, because either we're giving them too much or we're putting it in the wrong places.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to...
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go.
No, please, I insist.
No. You go.
You go first. You go first.
You know what, Derek? Just go, Derek. Go.
So, what I was gonna say is, I feel like it's more of a state. Like, even if people aren't specific on where they want to see the money go, it's more of a statement than anything. Because it's like, how do you let someone know, like, yeah, we're serious, we mean business, like, we're not messing around, we're not standing for your BS. If they see their budget get cut, they instantly know, like, okay, hold on, like, something has to
It's like a spoiled child.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'll get a Nintendo Switch taken away.
It's punishment, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I 100,000,000% agree, but even more to Skrilla's, no. Even more to Skrilla's point, right? Because my whole thing was the whole term, right? So even more to Skrilla's point, I don't necessarily want that money taken away from them, right? From that I guess, let's call them a corporation, because that's what they are. They're business at the end of the day.
Yeah,
right?
they are.
So I don't want that money taken away from them, but they do need a restructuring, like Sikes was saying, right? So restructuring in the sense that, okay, maybe we're not sending out, people who are armed to these certain calls or whatever it may be, right? Maybe we're hiring more people who actually deal with the psychological issues that people have and can communicate effectively with them to a point where things don't escalate to a certain point, right? Because a lot of things could be handled just by speaking to someone, right? But not everybody has those skills. Because at the end of the day, if you go to police training, all they're teaching you is if you feel intimidated, you put that hand on the gun and be ready, right?
Bro, some of these guys are even coming up on traffic stops with their guns out.
Yeah, legit, right? Because, and at the end of the day, they're human and they're scared, right? But that's not how you effectively deal with someone who's in the position who's even more scared than you are, right?
Irrational fear. Yeah, it's scary still.
Exactly. So that was my whole thing with the actual term itself. So if it was something more that said along the lines of restructuring, which is exactly what they're talking about, I think it'd be so much more effective than spending how long you have to spend with just over the term and the name of the term, right? Instead of the action behind it.